You never seen it?
No.
He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Watch this.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
You're doing something isn't a stunt. You have to. It's
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, "Can I get a glass of water?" They would never do that. They would have water ready for him.
Barack Obama walks into the halls of history like a tech CEO who just discovered his own glowing profile and is now addicted to the refresh button. The problem is, with each update, the entry reads more like mythology than fact. Joe Rogan didn't need a formal introduction to this topic. He came in with the energy of someone who suddenly saw the full picture. The emperor isn't just naked. He's launched a streaming special, a podcast, and a merchandise line based on the stunning clothes he claims to be wearing.
Remember when they gave that speech, when he gave a speech on television, and everybody was like, "Fuck this."
Mm-hmm.
And then they were, it kind of just went away.
It was one of the most beautiful moments in modern American history. People really actually stood up and stopped a war from happening.
Today, I authorize the Armed Forces of the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya in support of an international effort to protect.
Rogan's final verdict is clear. Obama's greatest skill was never governance. It was performance. He was a master illusionist of political theater, a virtuoso of the pregnant pause and the meaningful glance. He crafted an image so Teflon, even his most glaring failures were rebranded as noble attempts. As Rogan sees it, he's not a statesman. He's a franchise. He's the political equivalent of the latest iPhone. Sleek, expensive, masterfully marketed, and somehow less useful with every new version. And while the country grapples with the fallout from his administration, Obama remains literally and figuratively above it all, floating over the wreckage with a wry smile and another production deal in the works. The contrast is stark. A smooth delivery, but jagged results. The performance was flawless, but the legacy is starting to look flimsy in the harsh light of reality. The aura is fading, the curtain is lifting, and the real story is just beginning.
Obama did it, where he repeated that lie about Donald Trump talking about white supremacists, saying they're very fine people on both sides. Let's play it.
Said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
That's crazy. I have never seen.
The Obama mythology has been buffed and polished for so long, you can see your own reflection in it. It's a brand built on slogans like hope and change, buzzwords that now feel as dated and hollow as a viral video from 2008. Joe Rogan isn't falling for the nostalgia. He deconstructs the legacy, not with anger, but with a cheerful precision, like an archaeologist happily exposing a fake artifact. Because he sees that beneath the carefully cultivated zen and the presidential poise is a shrewd operator who mastered the art of wielding immense power while deflecting all blame, achieving the ultimate paradox, the enlightened guru with a kill switch.
But every other president got roasted. And one time, during the White House press correspondence thing, Obama went on stage and he roasted Trump. And one of the lines he said to Trump, he said, "I'm one thing that you'll never be," which is the president of the United States. Because this is when Trump was trying to claim that Obama's from Kenya. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
The birther stuff.
Yeah.
Which is wild. That stuff was wild.
If you value commentary that cuts through the official narrative, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Let's discuss foreign policy, where Barack Obama perfected the art of exporting chaos with a serene, professorial smile. His administration racked up more drone strikes than a professional esports league, all while he preached diplomacy. He was the pyromaniac who won the Fire Safety Award. Rogan's critique was brutally simple. He just read the list of countries targeted. Suddenly, that Nobel Peace Prize looked less like a prestigious honor and more like a participation trophy from the Global Intervention Olympics.
And yet they repeated that lie.
Why would you place your faith in somebody who instituted a so-called Muslim ban?
I just completely lost respect for Obama when he repeated that lie a few days before the election, knowing it's false.
Who said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally?
This just shows how desperate they were to keep Trump out, which is wild.
Who sat down for pleasantries with Holocaust deniers?
They just felt like this is a tool that we have, and let's use it. Let's just say whatever the we have.
And what of healthcare? His landmark achievement that, in practice, became a bureaucratic Rubik's Cube, impossible for most to solve. Obama promised simplicity and affordability. America got a system so convoluted it required its own instruction manual, which was also confusing. Then there's the border. As Rogan highlights, the irony is staggering. The same man who lectured the world on compassion presided over the administration that built the infamous cages, perfecting the art of rebranding harsh policy with soft language. A crisis in detention centers simply got a new name. Joe doesn't need to raise his voice. He just holds up the administration's record like a mirror, and the reflection is that of a shrewd politician, not a moral visionary. And on the gun debate, a masterclass in performative grief. Obama wept on camera and delivered powerful eulogies, then followed up with nothing. As Rogan saw it, this was vintage Obama, emotionally compelling but functionally completely absent.
Confirmed about Biden.
Give me some volume and go full screen.
What you know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto.
And let's not forget his administration's secret dance with mass surveillance. The NSA was running a domestic spying operation that felt like a pilot for Big Brother Constitutional Edition, all while Obama was delivering keynote speeches on the sanctity of liberty. As Rogan pointed out, it was the ultimate magic trick. Sell the public on freedom from the main stage while building a surveillance state backstage. In Obama's America, transparency was a principle that applied to everyone but the government itself. He also managed to transform the press corps into his personal praise choir. Journalists didn't cover his administration, they auditioned for it. Newsrooms became echo chambers for his talking points. Rogan nailed it when he described the press corps as acting like starstruck interns at a corporate retreat, feverishly tweeting his platitudes while the country's actual problems were ignored. It was less journalism and more a state-sponsored fan club. Then there's the myth of the economic recovery. Obama takes a victory lap for saving the economy, as if he personally arm-wrestled Wall Street into submission. Rogan shreds that narrative, pointing out it was a recovery for the few, massive bailouts for the banks, foreclosure signs for the working class. He's still getting applause from a public that saw their wages stagnate. As Joe made clear, the recovery was great. If you were a banker, a billionaire, or a brunch influencer, everyone else just got a tote bag and a nice speech.
This is the accusation. They're throwing around the word treason.
I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016.
They're saying that Obama knew that Russia did not meddle in the election, did not have any impact.
He was once the high priest of hope, but Barack Obama's carefully sanctified legacy is now facing a trial by fire, and Joe Rogan is the lead prosecutor. With surgical wit and an allergy to political stagecraft, Rogan is peeling back the layers of the Obama brand, exposing the vast gap between the poetic rhetoric and the pragmatic results. This isn't just a critique. It's a forensic audit of a presidency built on charisma. The halo is slipping, the teleprompter is glitching, and the carefully constructed facade is beginning to crumble.
must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history.
But yet promoted this idea.
James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse.
For 8 years, Barack Obama cultivated the image of America's philosopher king, a performance defined by a soothing voice and a calm, professorial demeanor. But Joe Rogan is immune to what he sees as cadence hypnosis. He argues that behind the serene, carefully constructed facade was a presidency full of political maneuvers so audacious they would make Machiavelli blush. The media sold him as the cool president. Rogan's counter is that cool becomes a strategic weapon when it's used to tranquilize public dissent while you're busy pulling the strings behind the curtain.
I think the best people age the hardest. I think Obama was probably like a very idealistic young man
Oh, Lord, what's going on now? Who's hollering? I can't even see it.
who really wanted to change the world. And that dude aged more than anybody.
I mean, I'm getting old, so I can't hear that well. I can't see that good.
Who aged the least? Trump. Trump just
This is something that
he just brushed that shit off his shoulders like it was nothing.
We knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that.
Joe also deconstructs the cult of personality that surrounds Obama, where followers treat him like a hybrid deity, part Gandhi, part visionary tech CEO. As Rogan notes, the man could tweet a grocery list and it would be analyzed as a sacred text. He's not a philosopher. He's a brand, meticulously curated and shielded from all criticism by a fortress of media adoration and manufactured nostalgia. He built a political empire on vague platitudes and flawless lighting. But while the media was focused on the vibe, Joe points to the scoreboard. A more divided nation? Check. Eroding trust in institutions? Check. Then there's his war on whistleblowers. The president who promised the most transparent administration in history prosecuted more truth-tellers under the Espionage Act than all previous presidents combined. Rogan highlights the stunning hypocrisy. Obama championed open government while simultaneously waging a war on those who practiced it. So much for sunlight being the best disinfectant. This was more like pulling the blinds, bolting the doors, and soundproofing the walls.
the level of surveillance that this government is putting forward is insane.
It is crazy. And remember when Obama was confronted about it? He's like, it's just metadata.
Metadata.
No worries.
Yeah, it's fine. Just trust us.
Just metadata.
Yeah.
We're just collecting metadata. And Snowden's like, no. I was reading people's emails.
Right.
Yeah, we all read emails.
And there was some reporter, I forget her name, like they were deleting, she was on her computer and you could see the file being deleted right in front of her. She took a video with her camera. I think Ed Snowden should be allowed to walk free.
Let's dissect the celebrity pivot. After 8 years, Obama didn't retire. He launched a multimedia production company with himself as the star. He's now producing documentaries and curating playlists, narrating his own legacy like it's a Ken Burns epic commissioned by his fan club. As Rogan noted, he seamlessly transitioned from commander-in-chief to content creator-in-chief. The hypocrisy is, as Rogan says, poetic. Obama preaches climate doom while buying up oceanfront real estate, as if rising sea levels are just a suggestion. His climate sermons have the credibility of a celebrity diet coach, secretly mainlining cheeseburgers. Then came the 2016 Russia debacle. Not the aftermath, but the event itself, where the Obama administration watched election interference unfold with the stunned inaction of librarians witnessing a riot. As Rogan points out, they knew it was happening. They watched it happen, and then feigned shock at the outcome. Their response to a foreign cyber assault was the equivalent of a deep sigh and a passive-aggressive email. Rogan refuses to let that part of the story be erased, exposing the profound apathy behind the polished, no-drama facade.
Obama mocked him. Remember? He did the White House press correspondence dinner, and he said,
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. He can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter? Did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
You see Trump in the audience going,
Oh, he made fun
you're
of
taunting a psycho.
Yeah.
Even now, as a private citizen, Obama can't resist a cameo, emerging from retirement to offer advice with the tone of a wise elder who hasn't been in a real conversation since 2016. As Rogan points out, these aren't insights. They are detached lectures, Instagram-level platitudes delivered with an air of superiority, as if he's the last sane man in a mad world. The defense is always, he was better than the next guy. But Rogan dismisses that as a low bar. That's not a legacy. It's a marketing slogan. For a man who occupied the most powerful office on earth, he speaks of his tenure like he was a tourist on a bus tour, just observing the scenery. No ownership, no regrets, just curated memories and Spotify playlists. His memoirs are the final monument to this brand. 2 volumes of meticulously airbrushed self-congratulation, where every chapter is a masterclass in avoiding accountability. Rogan's description is perfect. Reading them is like being trapped in a sauna with a self-help guru who won't stop talking about his own journey. You leave exhausted, sweaty, and no more enlightened than when you entered.
I was watching Daniel Negreanu, the great poker player, was on Tim Pool's show, and they were talking about his shift in political ideologies, and then a lot of it came from when they were accusing Trump of saying that thing that Obama repeated falsely during the campaign. He was talking about white nationalists and neo-Nazis and saying there's very fine people on both sides.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And Negreanu, he had heard the clip where Trump said it, where it was edited. He'd never seen the full thing. And then once he saw the full thing, he was like, what the fuck? And it immediately made him realize, like, oh my God, they're lying. This is years after Daniel had known it was false. And then Obama's sitting right next to Trump and they're joking around with each other. Hey, pal, I know you're a neo-Nazi lover, you fuck.
Because the hard truth is that charisma doesn't pay the debts that history leaves behind. While Obama sails off into his Netflix-funded sunset, the consequences of his smooth-talking, low-impact presidency continue to surface. Joe Rogan didn't attack the man. He audited the narrative, reminding everyone that being popular is not the same as being effective. From bank bailouts, sold as economic rescue, to a drone war, marketed as a peace initiative, his legacy isn't a triumph. It's a brilliantly written script whose plot holes are finally becoming obvious. This is the truth no one wants to say out loud. The Obama halo is fading, revealing a politician with a world-class delivery and a legacy riddled with contradictions. Rogan didn't bring a torch. He brought a mirror. And in the reflection, we see not a hero, but a master of the art of looking righteous while acting ruthlessly. The era of the untouchable icon is over. The myth is finally being fact-checked, and the spotlight is no longer flattering, it's forensic.